The first thing that reading Look Back in Anger, there are word theater and there is a word called play, which keep occurring. ये जो इको हो रहा है ये मेरे लैपटॉप की वजह से हो रहा है कि कहीं और से प्रॉब्लम है? So I can listen my voice. Okay. So when you listen the word theater, what is the difference? And when you listen the word play, I've already spoken the difference. Like there is a repetition today. What did we speak? तो आप उसको bear कर लेना. अगले क्लास repetition नए materials नई चीजें मिलेंगी. So when we think of a theater, it is a bit referred to performance. So theater basically means that there will be a setting, there will be costumes, there will be props, and there will be performances. When you listen the word theater, it means that there is a what is a play? Play means it is a request to all of my students to open your voices. I can see Swapnil has not done. Sophia, your phone is still on. आपके साइड से आवाज ज्यादा आ रही है. Okay. So when we think about the play is something that we read in the classrooms. Play is something that we discuss with certain people. So play is something that author writes and circulated into the market. Which means to say, what we do in the class, we don't read theater, we read play. But when we go and watch the performances, then we say we are not watching play, we are watching theater. Is clear हुआ? The difference between play and theater? Yes, I want to know that, like, is the difference between play and theater is clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now when we read the Look Back in Anger, we know that Look Back in Anger was roughly written during 1950s, which means to say not 1900 before, not 1939 before, but roughly it is 1950s, which means to say after the Second World War. What happens in the World War that more, let me add them. After the Second World War, Britain became victorious, right? When Britain became victorious, at the same time, their venture towards imperialism is getting over. What I mean by this? Let's try to understand two things. The one is the time of 1950s, where we have the First World War, Second World War, 1930s, a lot of things were happening. And the second thing was that after the World War, the victory of Britain ensured that now they will not get into imperialism, but they will develop welfare society. Just for your understanding, what is imperialism and what is a welfare society? Imperialism, as you know, when Britishers came to India, initially their purpose was to create an empire into India, in India, and they wanted to earn money. They wanted to make money through the empire. Differences between the colonialism and imperialism is, imperialism means that there is no direct control over your colonies. But the moment there is a colonialism, which means to say that everything is taken by the forces or by the outsiders of the other countries. Imperialism का main मकसद होता है कि they will make money. The purpose is to make money. Colonialism is your culture, your living styles, your everything will be changed according to the interest of the outsiders. So here what is happening in the 1950s after the World War, imperialism is getting over and Britain is trying to establish welfare society. What is a welfare society? Welfare society means that there will be a government whose interest will be to serve the common people. welfare society means there is a one person waiting. Yeah, I know echo हो रहा है, but I don't know how to fix it up and what's wrong. Okay, so welfare society means that there will be a government which will take interest of the common people, right? So in Britain also, after 950s, there was a change happened. The change was that Britain started formulating the policy which is more oriented towards welfare society, which means to say that their interest was taking care of the people. मतलब आप थोड़ा सा ध्यान से समझो, पहले क्या था? पहले फ्यूडलिज्म था. फ्यूडलिज्म मतलब कुछ लोग हैं जो पूरे कंट्री को कंट्रोल में रखे हैं. फिर स्लोली ग्रेजुअली क्या हुआ? वेलफेयर सोसाइटी आया. वेलफेयर सोसाइटी में क्या हो रहा है कि राजा सिर्फ अपना इंटरेस्ट नहीं देखेगा, पार्लियामेंट होगा, लोगों का इलेक्शन होगा, लोग चुने जाएंगे और वो रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे कॉमन पीपल के इंटरेस्ट को और उसको ध्यान में रखा जाएगा. एंड at that point of time, when Look Back in Anger was written, there was a coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II, which means to say not the first one. First one कौन सा था? कोई एक response करो, just to see that you are listening or not. I'm asking something.
Elizabethan period जो first था.
Exactly.
During that Shakespearean time.
Right. Shakespearean time पे Elizabethan one, but this is a coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. और इसीलिए इसको बोला जाता है इस टाइम को, there are critics who call it the new Elizabethan age. The new Elizabethan age. What does that mean? अभी देखो क्यों इसको new Elizabethan age बोला गया? Not for the reason that Queen Elizabeth has ascended the throne. Not only that reason. More than that. What is more than that? Is this that the kind of reputation, the kind of glory that England enjoyed during Queen Elizabeth first period, the same kind of glory they want to restore during coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, and which is why they are trying to say that this is a new Elizabethan age in which that now Britain will try to establish itself in all the sphere as a supreme being. It will try to restore its glory, whatever it has lost before. ठीक है? So this is a new Elizabethan age. This is why they call it the new Elizabethan age. Now, if you look at England, अभी मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि लुक बैक इन एंगर के लिए ये सब जानना क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है. इंग्लैंड को आप रफली 3 भाग में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू मे कॉल इट 3 इंग्लैंड्स. द फर्स्ट ओल्ड इंग्लैंड, जिसमें क्या होता था? कंट्री होती थी, कैथेड्रल होते थे, मिनिस्टर्स होते थे. ओल्ड इंग्लैंड, व्हिच मींस टू से यू कैन लुक एट 16th सेंचुरी सोसाइटी, जिसमें आप शेक्सपियर के टाइम को ओल्ड इंग्लैंड. 19th सेंचुरी इंग्लैंड, जिसमें आप अभी नहीं बाद में पढ़ोगे, वर्ड्सवर्थ को पढ़ोगे, कोलरिज को पढ़ोगे, और भी लोगों को, बहुत सारे लोगों को पढ़ोगे. They all fall in. Let me add Angita. Okay. Second क्या है हमारा? 19th century England. They basically what you find in that industrial England, which means to say steel, coal, railways, cotton. And then we have a New England. New England means the England in which Osborne is writing back in anger. And what is the New England? New England is something like established on the philosophy of egalitarianism and consumerism. Egalitarianism and consumerism, which means to say that a lot of mass production would be there and people will be consuming it. Egalitarian means more or less the society which is on the principle of which is founded on the principle of equality. That is an egalitarian philosophy, which means that everyone will be taken care of. Their interest will be taken care of. ठीक है? So that is a New England. New England जब आप दिमाग में रखो तो चार चीज तुम्हारे दिमाग में तुरंत आनी चाहिए. पहला है अमेरिकन कंज्यूमरिज्म, एगलिटेरियनिज्म, मास प्रोडक्शन, अर्बनाइजेशन. ठीक है, तो ये न्यू इंग्लैंड है. क्योंकि जब हम लोग लुक बैक इन एंगर के कैरेक्टर को पढ़ने जाएंगे या थीम समझने जाएंगे, तो वी विल सी that look back in anger is written during New England period time, and New England period time is basically dominated by consumerism, mass production, liberalization, egalitarian society and urbanization. ठीक है, so ये हो गया. Now अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं generally कि what was the economic changes that happened, so you may immediately will talk about that, sir. Sorry. Okay, so I thought it's okay. I am heading it. This is why I said that keep your microphone off. Keep your microphone off so that others will not be disturbed. Okay. So now what is the economical changes that is happening? The economic changes that is happening is there is export and import, which we call laissez-faire. I am sure that if you are the student of economics, you have read some newspaper. Laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means free economy, which means to say that king or any government will not control the economy. It will be controlled by the market, which means to say you and me coming together will decide what would be the cost of onion, what would be the cost of potato, which means to say that there is no king who can control our demand and production. So this is a laissez-faire. आप लिख लेना. Once the class is over, do read it. Then this is basically economic changes. Now what is the political changes happened during 1950s? Interestingly, Winston Churchill came. How many of you have listened to the name called Winston Churchill?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Winston Churchill, who had a very bad opinion about India. All right. So there was two kind of government in Britain: Labour government and Conservative government. Conservative government was represented by Winston Churchill, and Clement Attlee, like a people, was representing the Labour government. Labour government was more oriented towards the poor people, and Conservative government was more inclined towards the upper class, rich people, elite, business people. All right. So that point of time, unfortunately, what happened that Winston Churchill also he became the powerful. Now third is what is the international changes that could see. International means other out of Britain, what was happening? Two things. One is obviously you have read the Second World War, and in between that you will see Spanish Civil War. Wait, there are three people, let me add them. All right, Spanish Civil War. Note down, it happens in 1930s because there is a reference to Spanish Civil War. There is a huge reference of Spanish Civil War in your Look Back in Anger text. Because Look Back in Anger, Porter's father dies in Spanish Civil War. Right? So suppose करो 1 marks में आपके पूछ लिया गया कि पोर्टर के पिताजी कैसे मरे थे, so you can tell that due to Spanish Civil War. So there is a reference of Spanish Civil War in your textbook. All right. So now there are in drama, when we get into the drama, right? In drama there are cynicism started happening. Cynicism means people are angry, but they don't have any political aim. They don't have any social aim. They are angry for no reason. It's not that the anger was the first time started being used by Osman-like people. Anger, you see, before also in drama, you will read, you will understand that there was anger. But here, the anger is something which you cannot identify that why this anger is. What is the reason behind this anger? And in the end also the anger is not getting over. Let's say for example, if I ask you, in case of Jimmy Porter, because we have been reading the text, he's not happy with his wife, he's not happy with his friend, he's not happy with the society, he's not happy with the church, which means to say that everywhere he finds the problem, which means to say his anger is not directed. His anger is not directed. Let's say for example, most of you will be preparing for UPSC exam, right? So suppose you are not able to clear exam. So your anger is directed towards clearing the exam. So because you are not able to clear the exam, therefore you are angry. But here what happens in terms of Osborne, his anger is diffused. His anger is not directed towards anything. And which is why in 1950s play, you will find that most of the characters are having cynicism. They are cynical. They are dominated by cynicism. So, so in the British period, when we are reading British drama, there are two important movement happened. The one is realism, and another one is naturalism. What is a realism? By name itself, it is very clear to us that realism is representing the reality, representing the reality, which means to say the kind of reality you see in your world, you start writing about it, and then it is being performed. But in 1950s, the moment World War started, sorry, after the World War and when the modernism started, naturalism took over. Please write down naturalism, go to M.H. Abraham and read it for sure. What is realism? What is naturalism? These are important if you want to answer with satisfaction of look back in anger. What is a naturalism? Naturalism, in roughly, I would like to tell you that naturalism was understood that it represents more actual picture of the reality. Sorry, more actual picture of the society. Which means to say that after Darwin, थोड़ा लंबा हो जाएगा, तो मैं थोड़ा short कर रहा हूँ. It will take a lot of time to explain what naturalism is. Naturalist drama, they believe that everything is being governed by heredity and environment. Read M.H. Abraham, it will tell you. Which means to say that our actions are governed by some other nature, environment. All right. Suppose if I give you the reference today, we want to have the classroom, right? We want to have a classroom in BHU, LT5 or LT2, but is it able to happen? No.
No.
So because there are certain forces, there are certain natural forces, certain environmental or certain heredity, or all this, these are two important things that they control you. So we'll talk about it in details some other point of time, but abhi ke liye ye bahut hi philosophical understanding hai. Here I have to take you Kierkegaard, Nietzsche and other people as well, but right now just think that most of the dramas written during 1950s are governed by the principle of naturalism. They are not governed by the realist principle or principle of realism, but principle of naturalism. All right. एक वर्ड और लिख लो, घर पे जाके थोड़ा पढ़ लेना. एक्सप्रेशनिज्म, EXPRESSIONISM. एक्सप्रेशनिज्म. This is another. This मतलब ये सब जो है ये सब पेंटिंग से स्टार्ट हुए थे. Means these artistic devices and style was used first on the painting, then later on the writers started using in the drama. Just because they found that reality is so complex that with our naked eye we cannot see. Therefore, they have to use a lot of different things through which they can represent the reality, right? So, जब हम character के बारे में बात करेंगे तो इसको और डिटेल में लेंगे. अभी के लिए बस you understand that expressionism is also a kind of a movement which try to represent the reality, but what kind of reality? Go to M.H. Abraham or go to Google, read in detail. And most importantly in drama that you will find theater of the absurd. In 1950s, another mode of drama that dominated literature is called theater of absurd. All right. What is theater of absurd? Just one line I will talk about it. That theater of the absurd, it basically says that once you are watching the play, it makes no sense to you because it is not like a traditional drama. एक second के लिए समझो what do you mean by this? This is suppose करो कि when you go and watch Shakespeare's plays, Merchant of Venice आपने देखा, Macbeth आपने देखा, lot of drama that you will read during Shakespearean time, or you will see that something is happening and you are able to make the meaning out of it. By the time the play ends, you will have emotions for certain characters, you will have animosity for certain characters, you will understand it, what is happening, what is not happening. In the theater of the absurd, as the name itself it talks about, that it will create absurdity, which means to say you won't be able to identify who is the hero, who is the villain, who is the protagonist, who is the antagonist, what was the theme, what was trying to show, which means to say that in one word, the theme called nothingness, Nothingness, dominated 1950s drama. And once you try to identify the theme called nothingness, this is what you are going to call, sir, this is theater of absurd. So if you say that nothingness is dominated, the moment you will say, sir, it is theater of the absurd. Just one line, Samuel Beckett was a protagonist, was a precursor. There are many people, there are Ionesco, there are Franz Kafka. There are many people whom you find that they are associated with the theme called theater of the absurd. Swapnil is smiling. What is the reason?
No, sir. Someone was at my room. That's why I was just talking.
बोलो कि theater of the absurd चल रहा है अभी.
Yes,
even
sir.
my mother, just to tell you, in the morning she was telling to me that this is the time where we need to realize that why are we looking for more money, why we are looking for more comfort, because the kind of situation in which we are gripped, it's like nothing is happening, isn't it? So this is not exactly something like this, but something that prevailed in 1950s. Just one quotation that I will tell you, and you will understand the crux of theater of the absurd. But in detail, you can read a lot of philosophies. Nobody comes, nobody goes, nothing happens. It is awful. This is the famous phrase used by Samuel Beckett in Waiting for Godot, where he says again, it is exemplary that this Waiting for Godot is exemplary of theater of the absurd. Nobody comes, nobody goes, nothing happens. It's awful. These kind of a statement, these kind of a dialogue, you will only find in theater of the absurd. You will not find anywhere else. All right, because let's say, for example, there are other dramas too, but just to tell you that what was happening during 1950s, what kind of a drama was written. Do I need to also explain kitchen sink drama? I have Subham Kumar. Okay, I'm skipping it because I have already explained kitchen sink drama.
So you have explained it in the class earlier.
Yeah, so I've explained enough, so I'm not going to speak because this is very much associated, related to Look Back in Anger, but I've talked enough. And now write one, because they may ask you in exam, theater of cruelty. Just write it down because they may ask you in exam, theater of cruelty. That is by Artaud, A-R-T-A-U-D. A-R-T-A-U-D. Artaud was the one who introduced the term called theater of cruelty. By the name itself, it is very clear to us that what kind of a drama was written under the genre of theater of cruelty, right? Which means to say bloodshed, murder, cruelty, barbarism, no sense of civilizations. Now you see that this is all was happening because the effect of the World War I and II, one, it is also the effect of what I told in the classrooms, Cold War, because Britain is losing its power. So the citizens are disturbed. And then also the new economic changes that happened, the new kind of society is coming, new kind of the order in terms of political, in terms of social. Everything when it is coming, things are so baffled. People are so disturbed. All right. If we look back in anger में जाते हैं, तो just one or two important instances that would like to relate and like to tell you. The one is that in look back in anger, either it is Arnold or either it is Osborne, or his character. You will find that they don't like middle class. They have developed a kind of animosity towards the middle class. What is the reason that they have developed hatred towards the middle class? The very basic reason is that for the middle class, it is sandwiched between these two, and all the burden of the morality has to be carried only by middle class. Middle class is a kind of a class which has the responsibility to carry all the important ideals of the society. Because upper class doesn't matter to them, lower class hardly care. So therefore, there are other reasons too. The one important reason which you read when you read the character of Jimmy Porter, you will see that he doesn't like the class which he belongs and also the class which his wife belongs. All right, so we'll explain when we come to Osborne's character in details. Now you see that Osborne and Porter, they are basically, I would roughly use it, they are synonymous to each other. Which means to say, if you are reading Osborne and you are reading Porter, you are reading the same person, more or less. Because there is example goes that Osborne's wife was pregnant and he left Osborne and she did not come back. This is the same thing you will find. This is the same thing you will find with Jimmy Porter as well. But the only difference is that his wife comes back. Jimmy Porter's wife, after getting pregnant, she leaves him, but she comes back in the end. So therefore, we see that there are a lot of close association with Porter and with Osborne. All right, so here I will end because I promised I will not exceed more than 30 minutes the classrooms. You will give me feedback. What are the problems that you are facing? For the next class, you can address those problems and can extend the class to 30 to 40 minutes when we will talking about the character. Any questions so far?
ऑसबॉर्न का प्ले है ये सर, इसमें थिएटर ऑफ क्रुएलिटी का जिक्र कैसे सर? ये मतलब ये तो सर लाइफ पे
इसमें क्रुएलिटी का जिक्र नहीं है, बस ये बताने का प्रयास किया था कि ये सब डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ राइटिंग्स स्टाइल्स उस समय डेवलप हो रहे थे, लाइक किचन सिंह ड्रामा, थिएटर ऑफ क्रुएलिटी, एब्सर्ड थिएटर, ये सारे टाइप्स ऑफ ड्रामा है जो डेवलप हो रहे थे। तो बस ये कि आपके एग्जाम में कभी मान लो पूछ सकते हैं कि ड्रामा, ओरिजिन ऑफ ड्रामा आपको उसमें है ना सेक्शन में, ओके, तो आपसे पूछ सकते हैं 1 मार्क्स के लिए या शॉर्ट आंसर में कहीं से पूछ सकते हैं, हाउ डू यू लुक एट इट, हाउ डू यू रिलेट इट विद दिस. So when you are reading Look Back in Anger, your job is also to familiar other forms of drama practice during 1950s. Anyone else? Okay. He is not able to listen to me. Sunny Yadav. Sunny Yadav is also not listening. Okay. Adarsh Pandey.
जी सर.
Adarsh Pandey.
जी सर मैं सुन पा रहा हूँ.
आदर्श पांडे थोड़ा अटेंडेंस ले लोगे क्या?